2007, 2008, 2011.
Hello, coach. Coach, can you hear me?
Yeah, I heard. I not hear you here. Ankush, better. I just have to contact. Ankush, you hear me now?
Yeah,
Tell me something.
I can.
But I not. Wait, I not heard.
No.
No. I heard. I not heard from here.
Yeah, from there.
No. Ankush, tell me something.
No.
Yeah, I can.
No. I not hear you well. I hear you from away. I not hear from here.
Yeah, now you tell him to talk. Now you tell him.
Tell me something. Ankush.
Yeah, I can. You can hear me, coach,
No.
right?
No problem because our wire.
1 minute, Ankush. I'll connect it. Wait. I'll go back and I'll connect it. I'll leave the meeting and I'll connect it.
Okay, no problem.
Ankush, you hear me now?
Yeah, I can.
Ankush? Ankush?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Ankush, you are here?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You can't hear, sir.
No, nothing. I not heard. You know, show some.
Now you just talk, sir.
Ankush?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Ankush?
I can hear you, coach.
You can't hear, sir.
No.
You just plug in properly, sir.
Yeah, I put. Ankush?
Yeah, I can hear you.
For you can't hear.
Nothing. Ankush, you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Ah, okay, very good. Now we are good because we didn't connect. Now good. A little bit more here because I want to watch. Huh? This way, yeah. Yeah, 4 o'clock. Ankush,
Yeah, we can start, coach.
Ankush,
We can start.
Ankush, I not hear you. Ankush, you hear me? Ankush, I not hear you at all.
Coach, I can hear you.
I not heard him.
You can start, sir.
You can start.
I don't know that we are connected. Or
Hey, we are connected. It's connected.
Ankush is not connected. Ask him. What he say?
You can hear.
Ah, okay. Okay, Ankush. Thank you. Okay. Hello. Good evening, everybody. I'm happy today that we will talking and then discussing about very important topic. We will talking about basketball rules, and I know, and for me, it's very, very important that me as the coach and we will have officials. We will have today a referee. Also, I'm very proud that today we will have a Mr. Norman Isaac, who is chairman of the technical committee of the Basketball Federation India, and then also FIBA technical commissioner. And what is very important for India, that in the last World Championship in China, in Shanghai, he was technical commissioner on the final game. That is a big proud, and for anyone in a sport that something that is the roof of your profession, that somebody give you that you are be a member of the some top event. From other side, what is also very important, Mr. Norman is also a referee, but also we will have a top Asian and one of the best Indian referee that is Mr. Banaji Atani. Just for example, Mr. Banaji, that 3 times was a referee in the World Championship, 2007, 2008, and 2011, and he take a part of the lot of Asia Championship. I think all together that we will try to explain about basketball rules and how this will be influenced in all game of the basketball. Because you know, when we are talking about the game of the basketball and developing basketball, first of all, what is at the end? That is game. And then to be one successful game and tournament, that is, game is overall. I remember long time, maybe not long time, 2015, when I coach Lebanese national team, we have a discuss with General Secretary of the FIBA Asia. And then Lebanese all time, they have to explain something because they want to have some benefit. And then say in some FIBA championship that the referee coming not fair, they'll kick somebody out. And then in this moment, General Secretary, Mr. Hakub told for me something what I remember for all life. And I think that is for everyone. That is event or game is all over us, over referees, over players, over coaches, over spectators. That is something what we have to respect. That is a holiday for us. And then for sure that somebody wins, somebody will lose. Somebody will be more happy, somebody less. But we have to be part of this. And then when this finish, we need to be happy that we will have a next time and be a member of this. I think for me, this time was a very important message. And I want to share with you this message. Okay. I will give words now to the both of them, Mr. Norman, and he will introduce Mr. Banaji, and when we will start to talking about our topic, that is the basketball rules. I just shortly tell that we will talking first day, that is today, we will talking about violation. Violation meaning we will talking about timeout, substitution, traveling. After that, we will talking about rules. What is the time rules? That is 3 second, 5 second, 8 second, 14 second, 24 second. Basketball is a very precise sport, and that is important of the rules and important about dynamic of the game. It's most important that from the beginning, every coach, every referee know, and then that we are all together partners and we need to help each other, that we are better understand and to teach our player and everybody around that understand what's meaning basketball game. Okay, now we have a Mr. Norman with us and Mr. Banaji. Mr. Norman, please, can you tell a couple words, and then after that you will also start this session today.
Thank you, Coach. Good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be with you all this evening. And as we are discussing certain topics which are points of difference between the players, the coaches, and the referees. The game of basketball has become very, very competitive, and every decision by a referee has some bearing or effect on the game. No team would like to see that they lose possession of the ball, but then the referees have also got certain framework and fundamentals and mechanics through which they have to ensure that neither team gets an advantage or a disadvantage. We have tried to emphasize on those points where we try to have some sort of a difference of opinion between the decision given by the referee and the decision what is expected by a coach or a player. No doubt, not every referee can be able to give a 100% call, but then the referee tries to balance it in such a way so that the game ends on a smooth note and everybody is in a win-win situation.
Just put that in this. I'll connect it.
I now request Atanu to say a few words, and then Coach MATIC will take over the proceedings. Coach MATIC will.
It's a pleasure for me to be here in this evening with all of you. I want to say only one thing that during this session, we are trying to show some video clips. Few clips are very old, but as per that time, it was correct and
Yes.
referee was called correctly. But as per current rule, this is may not be correct. So this is only for the reference what we are discussing, trying to discuss about that particular point. We are trying to show that video clip. Thank you.
Ankush, you can give it to Coach MATIC, please.
Okay, I had a problem because I couldn't connect and I couldn't hear what you are telling. But okay, I think we can start with the first topic. What we are saying, that is okay. I can say that is basketball is a very dynamic sport, but with a lot of breaks, and then timeout is one of the parts of the breaks. What we have 4 times 10 minutes, and then we have a timeout, and then if you can go to the next one, that is timeout. Okay, Mr. Norman.
Yeah, as per Article 18 of the basketball rules, each team has got the opportunity to have 2 timeouts in the first half and 3 timeouts in the second half. The rule is that only a coach or the assistant coach has a right to request a timeout. A timeout is of a duration of 1 minute, and a request from the coach or the assistant coach by giving the traditional signal sign of a charge timeout is made known to the table officials, and at the first given opportunity, if the team of the coach which has asked for a timeout is eligible, the table officials ensure that a charge timeout is given. A timeout request can be cancelled only before a scorer's signal has sounded. That means once the table has intimated to the floor officials that a charge timeout has been requested for by either of the coaches, it cannot be cancelled. The timeout period begins when an official blows his whistle and gives the timeout signal. The timeout opportunities are when the ball becomes dead. This is the first priority, that a timeout is given when a ball becomes dead. Then the game clock is stopped and an official has finished a communication what he has started with the table officials, either for a foul which has taken place or for some violation by which the game clock has been stopped and the ball has become dead. The opportunity for a timeout ends when the ball is at the disposal of a player for a throw-in from out of bounds, or when the referee places the ball to the free throw shooter for the first throw which has been obtained by him. In case where both the teams have requested for a timeout, in the event of team A scoring a basket, then the timeout is recorded against team B. However, if the ball is a violation or a throw-in to be taken, the coach of the team which had first requested for the timeout will be given the timeout. in order for a timeout to be given, the coach, I perceive this from the table official angle, the coach will first establish visual contact with the table official and will make the proper conventional sign with his hands. The proper conventional sign is, this is the timeout which is requested for by the coach of the team. During a timeout, the players can leave the playing court and sit on the team bench, but all the players of the particular team should remain within the vicinity of the team bench area. Now, once the signal for a timeout is given, the referee or the official who is closer to the table official will acknowledge the timeout signal given by the table. I now request Atanu to say how it continues once the timeout signal is given by the table officials and from where the referees take over.
When the table official shows the signal buzzer for the timeout, then referee blow his whistle. After completion of all communication, he blows his whistle and indicate for the timeout. And after the timeout, as Norman sir told, total duration of each timeout is for 1 minute. After 50 seconds, table official will blow the buzzer and referee blow his whistle and beckons the team on the playing court. Within next 10 seconds, teams must promptly return to the playing court and ready to play. In this connection, I would like to read a statement from 2018 interpretation. Then it will be clear for everyone. Sometimes we have noticed that coaches are purposely increasing this time. 1 minute, they increase 1 minute 15 seconds like this. But in this statement, FIBA told that each timeout shall last 1 minute. Teams must promptly return to the playing court after the official blow his whistle and beckons the team on the playing court. If a team extended the timeout beyond 1 minute, it is gained an advantage by extending the timeout and causing also a delay of the game. A warning to the coach of that team shall be given by an official. If that coach does not respond to the warning, an additional timeout shall be charged against the offending team. If the team has no timeouts remaining, a technical foul for delaying the game may be charged against the coach, recorded as B1 in the score sheet. If that team does not return to the playing court promptly after the halftime interval of play, a timeout shall be charged against the offending team. After this point is very important. Such a timeout shall not last 1 minute and the game shall be resumed immediately. So we have to keep in mind our coach and referees also that timeout 1 minute means 1 minute, not that 1 minute 10 seconds or 1 minute 15 seconds. Next, Norman sir.
Okay, can I ask? Can I tell something from a coaching point of us? First of all, timeout is a very big weapon in the hands of the sport of the basketball, and we are a witness now that a lot of sport they will give a timeout. Before didn't have a timeout, but a lot of sport now, handball give a sport, water polo, a lot of volleyball. They have opportunity to make a timeout. Before didn't have. That is experience from a basketball. But we have these 5 timeouts. Sometimes we have a TV timeout. But I want to ask. I just want to tell, and after that I will ask. What is my experience as a coach? That is a timeout you are called timeout for some reason. That is a change tempo of the game, that you will stop the opponent for their scoring, or you are see that your team is tired, that you have to change something. And then in the first half, we have 2 timeouts. And then my opinion is that we can stop in the first half anytime game. First time we can stop anytime game. But I think that in the second half, we have 3 timeouts. But one of the second timeout we have to take from 3 timeout, one we have to take before last 2 minutes, because in the last 2 minutes, we have 2 timeouts. That is to make a game much more attractive. I just want to tell another things as a coach, what we are teaching a practice player, why we are wrestle to the player and tell with any break, when we are called player, they have to sprint, because 1 minute is not enough time. And then you have to discipline player that very fast coming to sit on the bench. And we have a proper way how players have to sit. Usually I put a center in the middle, and then on the one side, I put a guard. On another side, I put a forward player. And then behind them, they have to say on the same time they sit. That I will not looking where is my player. In a 5 to 10 seconds from a timeout, as you are as the coach, you will not jump to the player and then coming to talk to them. First, you have to stabilize yourself, to think about what you have to tell the player, and you will come in front of the player. And if you are possible, that is not every time so easy, that you are be ready, and then that you know how you will react. Because we have a lot of break in a basketball, and a very important is a reaction how coach will do this. My question to the Mr. Norman is, coach, when call timeout, this is a coaching box from where, and he need to communicate with which one, with the commissioner. If your game don't have a commissioner, from which one he is asked timeout. If you can explain to the coaches. And another thing is when coming these last 2 minutes, because in this time is very, we can give a timeout when we cannot give a timeout, and then choose when coach have to tell, I want to go from a backcourt or I go from a front court. Can you explain this to the coaches? And then in overtime we have 1 timeout. Every overtime they give each team by 1 overtime. Can you a little bit catch? We don't have too much time, but if you can concentrate a little bit on these things.
Usually before the game starts, we have a briefing as to which of the table officials will be observing the team benches. Because at times when a basket is scored, the opponent coach can immediately ask for a charge timeout. So all the members on the table officials have to be very active, and they should immediately be able to respond to the request made by a coach for calling a charge timeout. Whether a commissioner is present or a commissioner is not there, it is the duty of the table officials to be very, very attentive and to give a charge timeout whenever requested for by either of the coaches. With regard to the last 2 minutes of the game, when a timeout is called for by a particular coach, the referee who will find out from the concerned coach whether he would like to have the throw-in from the front court or from the back court, and he will in turn inform the opponent coach and also the table officials so that the shot clock can be reset either to 24 or to 14 in under whatever circumstances they are. So it is the duty of the table officials to be very, very attentive and to be responsive to attend to whenever there's a request for a charge timeout.
Okay, thank you very much. Now we will continue with a substitution. We know that is basketball also is from a few sports that on the court we have a 5 player, but member of the team is 12 player. And then we have opportunity to change a game with a substitution. Can you tell about that is from a coaching point, but also about the rules and official, what is the right way to do this, and then here you are. Can you explain about substitution?
Yeah, substitutions are a very important part and parcel of basketball. At times, it is very difficult for the table officials to respond to the substitutions being requested for by the coaches, because when we see foreign teams, they send a substitute, and before the player comes out, the substitute goes inside, another substitute comes. But for a substitution to be, for a substitution opportunity to come up, like in the case of a charge time out also, in case of a substitution, the ball has to be dead. This is the first and foremost condition. Secondly, the game clock has to be stopped. And third, the official has to stop his communication with the table officials. In the last 2 minutes of the game, or the final, or in the overtime, in the last 2 minutes when a basket is scored by a particular team, the opponent team has got an opportunity to ask for a charge timeout, for a substitution. Substitutions are very important because the coach does not have any role with regard to the substitution. It is for the player who has to be substituted. He has to report at the scorer's table, and with the conventional sign of showing a substitution, he should either be standing there or seated if a provision is made for a player to sit. Based on this, the table officials will, at the first given opportunity, whenever the substitution is eligible, the table officials will inform the concerned floor official, and the official who is closest to the table will call for a substitution. Now I request Atanu to tell the procedure for which a substitute can be beckoned onto the court.
When after scorer shall sound his signal to notify the official that a request for a substitution has been made, the substitute shall remain outside the boundary line until the official blow his whistle, gives the substitute signal, and beckons him to enter the playing court. That player being substituted can directly go to the team bench area without reporting referee or table official. He can go directly.
So this is very important, where the substitute can enter the playing court only after the referee beckons him onto the court. Many of the players are not aware of this. Many of the coaches are not aware of this, by which the player directly goes onto the court without waiting for the referee to beckon him onto the court. So, like Coach MATIC has told at the start of this program, that there should be a lot of discipline on either side, the referees, the coaches, the players, everybody, so that we have a smooth game. So unless a player is beckoned by the official on the court, a substitute cannot enter into the playing court. Whereas a player who is being substituted, he need not report either to the referee or to the scorer's table, but he can directly go and occupy on the team bench.
Okay, now I want to just give some words about substitution. What, as the coach, I expect that is, because 5 players on the court, if I change 1 or 2 players, usually I tell my player that have to, when he's a substitute, first of all, to give a hand to the colleague what will be change him. That is some codex, number 1. Second one, when I substitute player, he have to pass front of me, not going to the end of the bench. He has to pass front of me and stay a little bit if I want to tell him, because every time coach have to communicate with this substitution. Maybe why you are did do this, what you have to do, what you have to focus. Also, on the same time, player what is on the bench have to follow the game, have to follow player, which one he maybe will substitute, and also he has to follow the player what have to guard. But my question, I have a couple questions. Number 1 question is, because we have a lot of young coaches, we have a Passarella rule, And then note about the Passarella rule, because from the first quarter will be play 1-5, another will be play another 5, and then finally when we are take, how coach, how you will help by the table to help the coach about this. And then also second question, I will finish with this. After the timeout, coach change a player, they have to announce this or not announce? That is because you are telling now that we don't need to announce, and then we just change a player. That on the court have to be 5 players. In the beginning of game, if you somehow happen that is we have to write score sheet and then put a number of the player. Sometimes happen that some different number will be on the court. Can you a little bit tell couple minutes about this? What is my question?
Yes, coach. Invariably, whenever a substitute is entering the court, either for the first time or as a subsequent substitute, he has to report at the scorer's table. Because like you know, apart from the scorers, we also have the technical table where the statisticians are seated, and everybody has to be aware who are the 5 players who are going to play on the court. Is it going to be the same 5 before the stoppage of the game, or are there going to be any changes in the players who are going to come onto the court? This is very, very important. So irrespective of whether a player is playing for the first time or is re-entering the court, he has to inform the referee or the table officials and then only make his presence onto the court.
Okay, thank you very much. I think now we are coming, maybe is the most interesting what we will talking today, because we have a 2017 new interpretation of the rules, and then we are going about a traveling rule, because basketball game is a very precise game, and then everything is a small court, and then we have referees what will be observe the game and help that game have this very precise direction, and using movement is very important to be precise with the rule of the basketball. Can you talk now about this aspect of the game?
Yeah, there are many calls which are called travel, but basically a player has to establish a pivot foot. Once a pivot foot is established, a player can either fake, and before he raises his pivot foot, the ball has to be released from his hands. This is the basic principle of travel. And now I request Atanu to go in detail and tell us how a referee judges what is called a travel, what should not be called as a travel, so that the coaches will have more clarity about this.
Nowadays, basketball is very much different, that we are following that advantage-disadvantage principle. Sometimes what happens, no offensive player with the ball, no defense, he is in backcourt. Simply he moves his pivot foot and start the dribble. So in this situation, as a referee, we just allow the play. This is advantage. But if that with ball player is having defense, closely guarded player, after then he, before start the dribble, no one can move his pivot foot, lift his pivot foot. But if defense is there, we are not allowing this advantage. If he is free, that time we are giving advantage for that player. Normally, during traveling, we are observing that stationary and move with the movement. These two things we have to observe always. Yes, sir.
While there is one particular thing, that once a pivot foot is lifted, a player has got a provision either to pass or to shoot.
Yes, sir.
But he cannot start a dribble after the pivot foot is raised. The ball has to be released from his hands before the pivot foot is lifted.
Yes, sir.
I think I'm sorry that I disrupted, but that is very important. What we are maybe for 10 years back, we not allowed the player they are lift up the pivot foot and to shoot. We just let the player that can pass, but actually we not let the player, and this is what is prolonged step, and then we are going, especially for an inside player on the shooting inside paint. That is something maybe what have to be explained to the coaches, because it's a big weapon. And then what is important to explain. I think we have also video of this later on. If you can explain about this, because yeah, before the dribbling, we cannot lifting up the pivot feet. But in a way of the passing and shooting, we can take lifting. We can pivot feet to take from air. Can you a little bit more explain about this, Mr. Banaji?
In this situation, normally we know when any player gets the ball, if his both leg is contact with the floor, then once he lifts 1 foot, that means another foot taken the pivot foot. So for the start of the dribble, he cannot lift this pivot foot, but for shot or pass, he can lift the pivot foot, but he cannot land 1 second.
Okay,
Norman,
thank you
sir.
very much. Mr. Norman?
Yeah, I just wanted to make it a little more simple, that a player, the first foot of a player after he receives the ball, which lands on the floor, becomes the pivot foot. So a player, before he raises this pivot foot or moves the pivot foot, he has to dribble. But like Atanu said, that if a player has received the ball standing on the floor, then either of his feet can be made a pivot foot. So it all depends on whether he fakes to one side and tries to go on to the other side. But still, he should ensure that the pivot foot is not lifted till the ball is released from his hand. And also, we as coaches, we are observing that we try to unnecessarily not prevent the flow of the game. Like Atanu has told earlier, that if in the backcourt, a player has received the ball and if he's trying to progress ahead, if there is no defensive player, an additional step by which no advantage is got by the player who has got the ball with him, then the referees try to ignore this or try to allow the game to continue. But whereas if the referee feels that this could be an advantage gained by the team which has got possession, then every referee will definitely call this as a travel violation.
Okay, thank you very much. I think now we can go to this part, what we can see on the screen, that is start dribbling by moving. That is video presentation, or first you will want to explain this, and after that we will have a video presentation. Here you are.
First the video, please.
This is normal, sir.
Yeah.
This video is about new traveling rules.
Okay.
0, 1, 2 steps.
Okay.
So we must discuss before, I think. After
Okay.
then we can start this video.
Okay. You can just explain what is zero step and how this zero step has been initiated recently, by which the flow of the game is not stopped.
This you can go before this slide, this one, earlier slide.
Slide number 6.
Yeah. Here you can see a player who catches the ball while he is progressing or upon completion of a dribble may take 2 steps in coming to a stop, passing or shooting the ball. Here, as per FIBA rule, there is no 0, 1, 2 step. FIBA never mentioned 0, 1, 2. But we, for our understanding, we make it 0, 1, 2. That will be easier to understand that steps. If after receiving the ball, a player shall release the ball, to start his dribble before his second step. Once in this rule, when this player gets the ball, he controls the ball in, suppose in right foot, that foot becomes his zero step. After then, if he steps his left leg, that is becomes first step. And to start the dribble, he must release the ball before his second step. 0, 1. After 0 and 1, he must release the ball to start the dribble before 2 steps contact with the floor. The first step occurs when one foot or both feet touch the floor after gaining control of the ball. The second step occurs after the first step when the other foot touches the floor or both feet touch the floor simultaneously. Sir, now you can little explain more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, can we see? I think that is all people want to see because we are more visual than we are
now
less.
we can see that video. Yeah.
We can see the video because all of us, we are prove ourselves by video, but talking, we don't accept too much. You see, that is a 0 step and then coming first step. That is advance, no player around him, and that player can make receive. Actually, that is my opinion when we are practice. That is every time when receive is traveling. That is very good rule. They are speed up the game.
Yes,
you can continue. That is another one. Yeah, another video. That is also, I remember this situation very good.
Coach,
and that is...
you can see this rule. In this situation, before start of the dribble also, he took 0-1-2 step, and after the dribble also 0-1-2 step.
That is a legal situation. In this time, that was not legal because
legal.
That is, you see, is a control ball, and then immediately he put the ball down, and that is a legal situation. That is very good example.
Yes.
I think that is legal also.
Yeah, this is also legal.
Legal way. That is overhand, over feet step. That is a catch. 1, 2. And then coming hook shot. That is what Coach Zoran yesterday talked about. That is an inside move and very typical inside move for a player. That is also very important. That is a couple years that start to talking, and we are really protest as a coaches why this called traveling, and then 2017 explanation of the rule that spin move they are also treat like a 0 step 1-2 contact, and that is illegal. 0 step 1-2. But can you tell for this one, Ankush, if you show again this one, when you are want to explain the coaches what you are looking exactly to the zero step, when you are looking as the referee to the zero step moment of the catching of the ball, because this is a move what usually happen very fast, and that is when defense coming in front of you. And when what I teaching my player, that is the moment that you are catch, when you are stop you, that is the moment that you can catch a ball and stop. That is this moment. And after that, I will turn, and that will be two step, or I make a spin from one leg and then do something like this.
Yeah, we normally observe coach when he stops the dribble, whether one hand or both hand, he holds the ball. That means he got the control. In which step we are trying to follow that one.
Okay, thank you. That is, I think that is a very important that people see this. And then we have number 5, video number 5.
Before that, we need to discuss about this point, coach. If a player jumps off 1 foot on the first step, he may land with both feet simultaneously for the second step. In this situation, the player may not pivot with either foot. If 1 foot or both feet then leave the floor, no foot may return to the floor before the ball is released from the hand. In this
Okay.
we can see couple of movement.
Okay, after that, I have some example from a clinic, what I showed yesterday. You can show this, and Ankush after that will show it, because that is a very important elements of the game. 2007, by interpretation of the rule, they are come back. That is a jab step. And then after that, Ankush will show another one, and then if you can, that is a comment on this one. Here we are. We can watch this video number 5. Ankush, can you show video number 5?
This is very important, coach.
Yeah. That is explained is because we don't have here. That is very important step. That is the beginning.
Yeah.
We are talking about this one. We are talking beginning about this step, and I think for all of coaches, it's very important, because have to teach on player when they stop in one contact, when they stop in a 2 contact, they can in a shot they can take a leg up. They take this pivot leg, that is 2 and then take 1.
Here in this,
Yeah, that is because that is a stop in 1 contact. But when they stay stop 1 and 2, after that you cannot take a leg, because that is a 3rd contact.
Yes.
And then you cannot make it. And that is finished with this one. Ankush, can you show what I said from a clinic, from my clinic? That is this jab step. Jab step. That we are comment a little bit about this because we don't have too much time. That is shortly that is explained because jab step we are not explained here. That is one of the main advantage today what is bringing a basketball. That is this jab step that give an advantage for a player. That is actually one step, zero step, and plus step. That is this step. That is a combination. Beginning, jab step, and then zero step, and the stop. I like that, Mr. Banaji. Can you explain a little bit about this? You have a start from here. That is when player can lift, leaving this pivot feet, when can leaving, and then that when player go. You will see now, and maybe you can explain. That is, it will be two situations. One situation is in a fast move. Look, jab step, receive, and then immediately player receive the ball and move. That is move. What is legal move? Can you explain?
Yes, coach. This is legal move.
Can you explain one by one? Beginning from a left side, and after that, when player receive the ball.
Coach, main problem
Because
is I can't see the video properly.
Okay. Because can I tell about this? If you cannot
Yes,
see,
yes.
I will comment, because before we are talking, very important that we are decide what is the pivot feet, and then we can leave the pivot feet in a moment when ball leave a hand, and then you will see now leave the hands, that is traveling. What we see now, that is traveling, because ball leave a hands before, and then now immediate, that is a cross step. That is the combination of the step. That is a very important part of the game when players have to fast to start, because we want to speed up the game. And then this way, understanding between coaches and the referee, that is a very important part of the game. We will take just couple, and we are going to the another one. Look, jab, that coming. That is a two contact, jump stop, jump stop. That is a combination of the different steps. But beginning, what we have from a beginning today, that is a dominant step. When I teach my player, I saw this from the United States. That is very few people they are teach a cross step. That everybody now teach a jab step, because jab step give you first step, and what you are saying, they give you this zero step. What you can do. That is the dynamic way that you are start with a jab step, and after that fast in a catch you are start. Okay, thank you very much. I think there are coaches, they saw yesterday and saw now, and then we are going to the next step. Next step is we have a rules about basketball game. Is a very precise game. We have a 3 second, 5 second, 8 second, 40 second, 24 second. We have a game what to play 40 minutes, that 4 times 10 minutes with a break. That is, can you going about this part?
Yeah.
Here we are.
Here, same traveling rule. If both feet are off the floor and the player lands on both feet simultaneously, the moment one foot is lifted, the other foot becomes the pivot foot. This is normal. Next point is very important. A player may not touch the floor consecutively with the same foot or both feet after ending his dribble or gaining control of the ball. That means, coach, we used to call that is hop step. Nowadays, this is illegal. This is not allowed. You can see the video.
Yeah, very good. Ankush, please show video number 6.
6.
Okay, what I can say, Mr. Mr. Lalic from FIBA from FIBA Europe, when we are talking 2017 about rule, he told me about rule, not ask me about this rule. I cannot explain why, but that is the rules that we will call traveling. That is what he said. We had a youth commission in Budapest. All president of the youth commission, that is coming general secretary, and then we are talking about, and he told me, don't ask me about this, I don't know, but that is rule, and we have to follow this rule. That is something that is not a rational explanation, but actually that is traveling, because that is just to contact actually, but that is a rule and we have to follow rule. They don't have an explanation. Okay, can we go into the next step? That is 3 seconds. I think for everybody 3 seconds is very important. We have to continue, but to continue 3 seconds, that is something what very important rule, and then that is influence on the referees on the 3 seconds is so big.
There have been a lot of apprehensions between what is exactly 3 seconds. A player is not, an offensive player is not supposed to stand inside the restricted area once the ball is brought into the front court. But there are certain provisions where a player is permitted to stand for more than 3 seconds, and in the event of a player receiving the ball by which he could gain an advantage, a referee then has to call a 3 second. We also have what is called as now cautioning the player from occupying the 3 second area, for the restricted area, for more than 3 seconds. I think now Atanu will be able to explain it to us how exactly we, as referees, we see when a 3 second advantage is being derived by a player and when we have to call or when we have to caution a player.
Normally, coach, as a referee, we are following 3 steps. That means I am trying to explain you. Just first point is what we are observing. If any player is not active inside the restricted area or painted area and not taking any advantages, then as a referee we can wait till that player gets the ball. When he gets the ball, referee will immediately blow his whistle for 3 seconds. This is first point. Second point is, when a player is active inside the restricted area and trying to take advantage, then referee may try to preventative officiating or call the 3 seconds immediately. This is second point. And third point, if a player is inside the restricted area and not trying to take direct advantage, but he is trying to get indirect advantage, then referee must try to preventative officiating, and after trying this, if that player still remains in the painted area, then referee can call 3 seconds.
Can I ask a
Normally, we are
question? That is,
following these 3 steps.
can I ask a question? That is
Yes, coach.
two questions. First question, for example, player is with the one leg behind, very close to the baseline, and then with the one leg is inside, and he is not involved in a game. But on the other way, he occupied patient of the defender, who one moment have to watch him, one moment have to watch a ball. Because as a coach, I all time want that my big guy control the pain area, but also to know what is happen behind him. That is legal, and you will not focus on this. And then second question, when you have a technique with a 2 referee or a 3 referee, what is the referee, what is involved to focus what is happen inside pain?
Coach, basically, we see that a player has to establish and both his feet have to be outside the restricted area. In that case only, we consider that the player has moved out of the restricted area and a fresh 3-second count has to be taken by the referee. But if a player continues to have 1 foot inside the restricted area and 1 foot outside, then we deem it that he's still occupying the 3-second area, provided the ball is in the front court of the team.
But now Mr. Banaji told that he is not have an advantage from this. How you will treat this situation? Because we are witness that a lot of time player they are in inside 3-second area and nobody call 3 seconds. Or there are players saying that you are explaining another one in a moment of the shot, player that is inside area, and then in a moment when he is a fight for a position, he will spend the 6-7 seconds in this area. Can you explain this is advantage, disadvantage, and that is moment of the shot, moment when he received the ball? I think that is very important. And then when somebody penetrate inside area, if this player then don't have an advantage, they are inside 3-second area, how you will treat this? And then he's receiving ball, how you will? Can you explain a little bit? Because that is a very important point that coaches understand. And after that, they can communicate with the referees about 3 seconds. And what is the referee? What is a referee who is response for an inside area? That is a technique with a 2 referee and the technique with a 3 referees.
Yeah, first thing, who is responsible for the restricted area? First, in 3-person officiating, lead as well as center is responsible for the 3 seconds area. And in 2-person officiating, normally lead is responsible, but sometimes trail can assist to lead. This is not like that only lead can blow the 3 seconds, trail cannot blow the 3 seconds, not like that. In next question, sir, that if a player, as I told in my third point, what you told me just now, that if a player is standing inside the restricted area more than 3 seconds, after the release of the ball, he gets the rebound and get the advantage. As a referee, first we tried in this situation trying to preventative to call him or somehow tell him to go outside the restricted area. But if he still continue this, first time maybe we missed that. That time we read that his intention is not to take direct advantage. He is trying to take indirectly advantage from this play. So next time, definitely, sir, as a referee, we must call that 3 seconds. Anything, sir? Norman, sir, you want to?
Yeah, I just wanted to add one thing. There are some controversies regarding when a player has made an attempt and suppose about 2 seconds are over and a player has made an attempt, by the time the ball travels from the player's hand and goes to the ring, it is more than 1 second. But the moment a player has released the ball, the team has lost control of the ball. So even though a player is standing for more than 3 seconds inside the restricted area, we as referees will not call it as a 3-second violation, because once his player has released the ball, there is no team control. So once there is no team control, there is no possibility of a player being penalized for a 3-second violation. This is what I want to tell, because whenever at times what happens is we find some taunting from the coaches stating that ref 3 seconds, ref 3 seconds. But I would like to make it very clear that the moment the team has lost control of the ball, then either team has got an opportunity to get the rebound. And once the team control is not in position of a team, then no 3-second violation can be given by the referee.
Coach, you can see these two videos there. Two is different
Yeah.
situation for 3 seconds. You can see.
But we will, okay, we will let the coaches, Saturday we will continue. And then we will let the coaches to ask a question. I saw yesterday, I searched when I prepared for this one, I looking in the Wikipedia. Rule of the 3 seconds is established 1936. We are witness that is the rules over 74 years. And then this rule is a change, because this rule is to prevent that somebody stay and have advantage to stay inside paint area. And this rule, a lot of dynamic of the basketball all time change, but this rule stay, and then it's moderate all the time. And I will tell the coaches to ask this question. We have a down, we have this chat part of our clinic, and then coaches can let the question what is important, what we are talking till now, and then we will try to answer to them something we can answer now, couple questions for all of us, and then they can keep the question and we will try to answer about this video. We will keep for the next time, that because we are time is over, we are in overtime now, that we can say, and from this we will answer for a couple of questions what people have, and then we will continue Saturday, and then we will make more interesting with a more video example that people can ask, because I think very important is the rules. They are all coaches understand rules, and after that, when understand rules, can teach your player rules, and after that we can be equal partners in a game of the basketball. Thank you very much for your time today. Thank you very much for all coaches. They are ready to be with us and then to learn and listen our experience about basketball. Thank you again, Mr. Norman. Thank you again, Mr. Banaji. And I hope that we will try to bring and explain more about the basketball rule. I see that is very important part, that is very dynamic part, what usually change. And then here you are, you can make a question. Ankush, we have a couple minutes to make a couple questions, and then any other question you can ask, and then we will try to answer.
Any questions can raise their hands. Okay, one question. Karthik, you can ask.
Sir, good evening. Good evening, sir. Audible?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, you
sir,
are.
I wanted to ask, like, the NBA rule for a gather can be the holding the ball with the under or through the palm, but FIBA rules at times suggest that the gather happens only when two hands are placed on the ball. Can you clarify like what exactly the rule is for gathering the ball, because that will give a advantage on the 0-1-2 step.
I don't know the NBA rules, but as per FIBA rules also,
Yeah.
whenever a player gets the ball in one hand, that moment he is in control of the ball. Not only always that he must hold the ball in his both hands.
Anybody else who wants to ask question?
Anything, Norman sir, you want to add?
Yeah, I just want to tell, I wanted to make it a little more clear what Atanu has said. Once the ball comes to rest in the hands of a player, either it be a single hand or both the hands, then the ball has come to the player has got control of the ball and the ball has come to a stop. That is where the ball has been collected.
Any more
Because
questions?
before also I will ask, because in a zero step sometimes we have a situation that in a zero step we are receive the ball with the one hand, and in this moment we are hold the ball, we are continue to move with the ball, and then after that, that is after the curl move, we are keep the ball, make make a step, and after that dribbling the ball. That is a control ball, or without dribbling. We are receive the ball out of control. They are count like a zero step or not control like a zero step.
Okay,
Catch
coach.
one ball, catch with the one hand. They are make a step, catch with the other one, and then we start to dribbling. That how you can tell about this situation.
Collecting the ball with one hand and then using the second hand to get control of the ball. So at this particular stage, the player has got control of the ball or has collected and gathered the ball, after which he places the ball on the floor and then starts the dribble. So it doesn't make a difference whether a player has collected the ball with one hand or has got the ball in both his hands. Am I clear, coach? Or is there something else would you like me to explain?
Uh, that is similar what Mr. Banaji told, that we have advantage and disadvantage. That's meaning I have a screen, and I coming out of the screen. In this moment, I receive the ball in one hand, and then I make a step, and then after that, I receive the ball with the two hands, and then I put the ball on the court, and then continue to basket. Or I not to put the ball on the court, I continue to the basket, and I will have a 3-step to the basket. How you will treat this situation? Because that is a situation of the zero step.
Yeah, whether one hand or both hands, most important thing is your player's foot. If he collect the ball in right foot, that means whether it is one hand or both hand, that means that is his zero step. After then he can take another 2 steps for the layup shot. For dribble, another 1 step he can take. And before second step, he must release the ball. That is not important, coach, whether he is collecting the ball in one hand or both hands. Important is steps.
Okay, thank you very much. Can we have one more question and we will finish?
Yeah, coach. Chiranjeev, you can. Chiranjeev.
Sir, good evening, sir. Hello?
Yeah,
Good evening,
please.
sir. Sir, this GSW is passed in India, sir.
Not audible, please.
No.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello. You're not
Hello?
audible. Hello, not audible.
Good evening, sir. Sir, sir. Hello?
Hello.
Sir. Sir, I'm Chiranjeev. Sir? Hello?
Hello.
Can you ask question?
Arjun, you can ask your question.
Period.
Arjun. Dr. Mandeep, you can ask your question.
Yeah. Hello. Coach Matic.
Yeah, here you are.
Yeah, actually, I had a question regarding timeout. When you as a coach think we should take timeout?
Okay, I repeat. Okay, in first half,
From
I not
coaching
care.
point of view.
Yeah. From the first half, I not care. When I see mistakes and when I cannot change a player for a mistake, and when I see that I have to stop the game, I not care. That is the first half. Have a time, and then I can use maybe in the first quarter both timeout. After that, with some instruction to the point guard or to the instruction to the player, I can change something because fast after that I care about that will coming first quarter, but actually first half I not care about what time I will take timeout or maybe not to take timeout. That is depend how going rhythm of the game. In the second half, it's very important to control a rhythm. First 5 minutes is the most important part of the game. That is most of the time there happen some differences of the game. That one team will make advantage, especially when you are playing on the way. After the good first half, that can happen that some team make 5-6 points. In these first 5 minutes, I'm ready to take a timeout if something happen, and then I will keep that till the third quarter. I will not take timeout, and then I will see how game going on in the third quarter. I will try to keep last 2 timeouts in the last 2 minutes because that is important as long as I possible to keep this timeout, and I see how going result of the game. I will not take timeout because maybe I will need in the last 3 or 5 seconds. I will need a timeout, or I need a timeout in the last 30 seconds. That is something what coach have to calculate. But rules say that before last two minutes we have to take timeout. If I didn't use the timeout, I maybe between fourth and the last 2 minutes I will take timeout just to relax the player. If I need a substitute or do something, I will use the timeout. That is the tactical way how I think about the timeout.
Thank you, coach.
Thank you very much. Okay, again, thank you for all auditorium. They are coming and then ready and stay with us. 200 people is still with us that we are take 20 minutes over the time. Thank you, Mr. Norman. You are explained a lot of good things. Banaji, I wish you that you have a lot of good games. And then I'm very, very, very happy that we can repeat with the same people in a Saturday with the coach Zoran again, because now we have to discuss what is also very important. Again, 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 8 seconds, 40 seconds. That is rules about the game, and that is foul situation. Thank you very much. And then I hope that everything will be good. We are keep your time home, and then we will try to involve this time with the basketball, that you only not born home, that we involve your time with a good clinic of the basketball. Thank you very much for your time, and then hope you are enjoying today's lecture.
Thank you, Coach.